Croeso Pawb to the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. This sale ends on the 1st of September, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. There's over £330 worth of discounts in this video, so if you want to save some money, watch the whole thing and like and subscribe to not miss the next sale. Okay guys, let's look at the deals. Up first we have 1976 Back to Midway. It was released in 2021, so it's brand new, and is on at least a 50% discount for the price of £7.99 or £6.39 with PS Plus, which is a great deal for a brand new game, especially when it's VR as well. This scrolling shooter game has move controller support, and it's a modern take on the old school series, where you get to play the classic 2D gameplay with newly added immersion zones where you take control inside the aircraft cockpit, which is awesome, especially if you've got a PSVR headset. This game features 16 story levels, 64 missions, 24 immersion zones, and 200 upgrades. Now this really surprised me because this old school series has been going a while, but for them to do a VR version of it is really innovative, and I mean that. They don't shake up legendary series like this very often, so for them to go out on a limb and do a VR version adds so much more to the game experience, and I think it's a really cool idea. If you're a fan of this series, or side-scrolling shooters, or you like the sound of it in VR, definitely take a look at it, because it's a very different game, and they should be rewarded for trying something different. Next up is Absolute Drift Zen Edition. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and is on a 70% discount for the price of £2.84, which is pretty cheap. This edition includes 5 midnight events, drift challenges, ghosts, and online leaderboards with replays. This is an odd drifting game, where you learn how to drift from apprentice to master, in this unique game where you hone your drifting skills over a variety of drifting courses. It features unlockable vehicles, over 3 hours of electronic music, and a scoring system for that just one more try feeling, or competing online on the leaderboards. This looks like a really cool little game for this price, so if you like the sound of this, why not take a look at it? It's pretty different and unusual. Arafal Enhanced Edition is next. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and is on a 70% discount for the price of £4.49, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. And this edition includes a revamped battle system, new classes and skills, new UI, updated crafting system, new enchanting system, new difficulty modes, autosave, Twitch integration, and more. So they've really thrown a lot into this enhanced edition. It's not just a tick box, that's for sure. In this JRPG, you play as Lita to relive the golden age of RPGs. This game combines classic 16-bit JRPG gameplay with new modern mechanics. It features a deep and engaging story, complex characters, and gameplay elements from visual novels and adventure games. So it seems like a really cool modern take on the classic 16-bit JRPGs. So if you're a fan of the old school ones, you'll probably love this game. And if you never played one of the old ones, then you might want to pick up one of the old ones or this, because it's not a bad deal. Up next is Army Krog. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £1.59, which is dirt cheap. This is a point-and-click adventure where you play as Tommy Naught and his blind alien dog Beak Beak, unraveling the mysteries of the fortress that holds them captive. It features unique claymation graphics, an all-star voice cast, and an original soundtrack by Terry Scott Taylor. So if you've ever seen movies like the Wallace and Gromit series or anything like that, that's claymation and that's the style they've used for this game. So it's very unique and visually appealing. If you're a fan of point-and-click adventures and you like the sound of this one, it's definitely got a different style to it, and it'll be very entertaining for you if you like that genre. A modern remake is next, Assault Suit Lenos. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, but it's a much older game really, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.99, which is really good. This is a run and gunner, and a complete remake of a Mega Drive classic, where you get to pilot an assault suit in a desperate attempt to fight off an alien invasion. It features suit customizations, weapon loadouts, huge bosses, level submissions, and 8 stages full of action. So if you played the original and you want to relive those days, you'll definitely love this game. But if you never did, it looks like a really good game, and especially these days they don't make many games like this, so it's definitely unique now. It's well worth looking at for anyone who's interested. Our next game is My Star by Beat Cop. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and is on at least an 80% discount for the price of £2.39 or £1.19 with PS Plus, which is an absolute steal. This is the first time I've seen it on a decent sale, and it's a rock bottom discount as well. I couldn't resist, I picked it up myself. In this game, someone has framed you, and now you must patrol the streets, turning over every stone to uncover the truth. Inspired by 80s cop shows, you can be serious or funny, take bribes or stick to the law. With a non-linear story and multiple endings, this game will be great for people who just love replaying games to experience all of the different story arcs and endings. Like I said, I picked it up myself. It's a great discount. It's my star buy. You should check it out because it looks like a really different and unique game to me. I've really been looking forward to this one, and I can't wait to play it. Next we have Blood Bowl 2 Legendary Edition. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. This edition includes 16 additional races and new features. In this game you play as over 24 races and their star players with a new solo Eternal League, challenge mode, and even mix and match races to create the ultimate team. I mean, let's be honest, the Madden series has been absolute shambles for years now, with horrible microtransaction riddled garbage. It's just a shame, it really is. Why not play a different game? And this is the nearest you're going to get, I think, because not many games are making American football games. But in any case, this is a great game, the people that play it love it, and it's at a really good price now. So if you're interested, check it out. Our next game is Bound by Flame. It was released in 2014, so it's 7 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £1.79, which is dirt cheap. In this action RPG, you play as a mercenary possessed by a flame demon, and caught up in a war between mankind and the undead army of the Seven Ice Lords. It features 3 classes with unique skill trees and weapons, AI companions, and story choices with consequences. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this game's not exactly AAA, but hey, it's under £2, and it looks pretty decent. So if you're looking for a cheap little action RPG, at this price, you can't really complain too much. It looks pretty good for that. More RPG next, Cat Quest. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £1.99, which is really good. In this open world RPG, after your sister has been catnapped, you set out on a mission to rescue her, while exploring the open world, saving your kin and fighting monsters. It features real-time combat using both weapons and spells, and a world full of comedy puns. And the sequel is also on sale for $5.99, 50% off as well. So if you've got the first one already and you want the second, take a look at that instead. But this first one's really different and unique. If you're a fan of puns and cats, you'll probably really enjoy it. But if you're looking for a serious RPG, you'll want to look elsewhere instead. Crossing Souls is up next. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the low price of £2.99. This action-adventure RPG follows a group of 5 friends who find a pink gem that allows travel between 2 realms. The friends live the summer of their lives on an adventure that tangles them up in a government conspiracy. So yeah, it's basically a Stranger Things rip-off, or it's directly ripping off the stuff Stranger Things ripped off. Either way, it's a rip-off. But it looks like a pretty decent one. So if you're looking for a 16-bit RPG with a bit of an 80s style and theme to it, then look no further than this. It looks really decent. Next up is Earth Atlantis. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on at least a 70% discount for the price of £3.89 or £2.59 with PS Plus. In this side-scrolling shooter, the Earth has flooded, mankind has fallen, and you are now a hunter aboard a submarine, on a journey to fight the underwater machine fish monsters. It features quest or hunter mode, 4 playable subs, 12 events, 25 monsters, and 4 enemy subs to sink. This game has a really cool art style, where it looks like hand-drawn blueprints, and it seems to be pretty good if you like side-scrolling shooters. So if you like the sound of anything I've said, then why not check it out? You might really enjoy yourself. More point and click now, Edna and Harvey, Harvey's New Eyes. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the crazy low price of £1.59, which is awesome. In this game, Lily is a very well-behaved young girl, living in a convent. But when her best friend mysteriously vanishes, she must find the courage to overcome her fears and look for them. It features bizarre characters and wacky humour, which is pretty normal for point-and-click adventures, so if you're a fan of them, you'll know what you're getting yourself in for and you'll really enjoy it. But if you haven't played them before, you might want to try a more mainstream one first instead. Next up is Furwind. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £1.99. Which is pretty good. In this 2D platformer, the evil ancestor Dahin has been released from captivity and is ready to bring dark madness to the forest. So it's up to you as Furwind the Fox to platform your way to stopping him and saving the forest. This looks like a really cool 2D platformer. It's basically a 16-bit era sort of game, so if you liked platformers back in those days, you'll find a lot to like in this game. And if you've never played those old games before, then this might just be a great place for you to start. But if not, there's plenty of others on sale, including older games as well, so take a look around. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is up next. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the price of £6.24, which isn't bad for this quality of a game. This third-person action game is set in the Viking Age, where a broken Celtic warrior embarks on a haunting vision quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. This game was created in collaboration with neuroscientists and victims of psychosis, so if you're someone that would affect, or you don't like the sound of that, then keep clear. But if you're someone that loves horror games, or you like the sound of this in particular, then it's an awesome game at a great price. It's really good. Definitely worth thinking about at least. Maze is our next game. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is really good. In this adventure game, you locate and decipher clues while exploring an abandoned farm surrounded by sentient corn and featuring a condescending Russian robotic teddy bear. It also features crazy humour and lots of puzzles to solve. I mean, the crazy humour bit should be pretty obvious from my description, but it's definitely an odd one that's really fun. So if you like story-based games with loads of puzzles and crazy humour, this is right up your alley. And I've seen bits of this game and it looked awesome to me. I'm pretty tempted myself, to be honest. It just looks like a really cool odd game, so why not check it out? I probably will. Up next is Mighty No. 9. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £2.39, which is pretty good. In this action platformer, you play as Beck, the ninth in a line of powerful robots. When a mysterious virus infects the other 8, it's up to you to fight your way through 12 challenging stages to stop them and steal their abilities for yourself. It's basically a Mega Man rip-off, but it's a pretty famous one, and a lot of people hated it when it came out. But hey, it had to live up to Mega Man, which is pretty much impossible. But it's not a bad game. It even includes 2-player online co-op, boss rush mode, mini-missions, challenges, and an online race mode. It's got a lot of cool features added to it, and if you can get over the comparison to Mega Man, you might just find a nice little game for yourself. So if you like the sound of that, take a look. Never Alone Arctic Collection is next. It was released in 2015, so it's 6 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is good. This edition includes the extra DLC levels as well, so you do get some extra content thrown in with it. This puzzle platformer follows the traditional Inupiaq tale of a young girl and fox as they search for the source of an eternal blizzard ravaging their village. It also includes documentary video and information regarding the story and Inupiaq people, so it's a very different and unique sort of experience. As this isn't just a good puzzle platformer game that I've completed myself and I absolutely loved it, but it's also trying to convey the culture of the people it's based on, which is a really cool idea, and I like that it offers more than just a game. This is a really cool little puzzle platformer, and I definitely recommend you check it out if you like those sorts of games. Another old school remake now, Panzer Dragoon Remake. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £4.99, which is pretty good. This shooter is set on an ancient planet where 2 dragons awaken. You take off on an armoured blue dragon armed with a deadly gun from the past to chase down the prototype dragon and stop it reaching the tower or die trying. Yeah, so there's not much story, but hey, it's a remake of an old game where story didn't really matter too much, it was all about gameplay, and this one's pretty decent. If you like shooter games, like Star Fox or Strider, then this is right up your alley, and you'll probably know this from the old school game anyway. In any case, it's a pretty decent game, it's niche, but if it's for you, you'll really enjoy it, and if you've never played it before, you might like it. Just check it out first, as there is a pretty niche genre. The next game is Pinstripe. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £2.31, which is really good. This is another puzzle platformer, where you play as Teddy, an ex-minister forced to travel through the frozen afterlife, looking for his 3-year-old daughter Bo. It promises an emotional story, as you uncover the secrets of Teddy's past. I do like a good puzzle platformer, and this looks like a pretty decent one, with a very unique art style. Anyone who's a fan of this genre should definitely take a look at it, and if you've never played one of these games before, then at this price you might want to take a look at it. You might just find your new favourite genre. Oh look, another puzzle platformer, Planet of the Eyes. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the crazy price of 79 pence, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. In this puzzle platformer, you play a stranded service robot on a mysterious planet. You explore the planet, finding logs from your creator to uncover the purpose behind your creation, while hopefully finding a way to escape the planet as well. This doesn't look like the best puzzle platformer I've ever seen, but hey, at this price, you get what you pay for, and this looks decent enough. For anyone that loves these games, it's worth a look at. But for anyone else, there's definitely better examples to look at instead. Our next game is Punch Club. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £1.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. In this boxing management game, after your father was murdered before your eyes, you must train hard and work your way up the rankings to earn your place in the Punch Club and find out who killed your father. It features multiple branching storylines and multiple endings, so if you're one of those people that like replaying games again and again, this will be great for you because you'll get a different experience every time and even get to see different endings. This was a pretty popular game when it came out, and you can see why. It's got a cool art style, a decent enough story, and the gameplay looks pretty fun and addictive. So if you're looking for a fun little boxing game, you might just want to check this out. It looks really awesome. Next we have Rad. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for a price of £3.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. This 3D action roguelike is set in a post-apocalyptic world where you must journey into the fallow, an irradiated wasteland filled with unknown creatures, and try to find a solution to heal the world before it's too late. It features radioactive abilities and mutations, and it kind of reminds me of Kid Chameleon, because if you played that on Mega Drive, you could remember you could turn into different things with the different helmets. It's kind of like this here. The radiation gives you different abilities and mutates you into different forms. In any case, it looks like an awesome game at a pretty decent price. So if you like roguelikes or like the sound of this, then definitely check it out. It looks pretty cool. Or maybe even Rad. Next up is Rise and Shine. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £2.99, which is awesome. In this action platformer, your planet has been attacked by the space grunts from Next Gen, and you play as Rise, who acquires a sacred gun named Shine, who must now fight back to free your world. This is a really challenging action platformer, kinda like the old school games that we all used to love as kids. So if you're looking like a game like that from the olden days, then take a look at this. It's got a great art style and classic gameplay that a lot of people will love today. And if you've never played a challenging action platformer before, then you might want to pick this up. But there are definitely other options for you, like the Contra series or Metal Slug. So take a look around if you're not sure. Ruiner is our next game. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is really good. This is a twin-stick shooter set in 2091, where you are a wired psychopath who teams up with a secretive hacker friend to fight a corrupt system and rescue your brother. It features a large variety of weapons, gadgets, and skills. This had rave reviews when it came out, and a lot of people loved it. And these days there's not a lot of twin-stick shooters made. If you've been looking for one, then this is a good one. You should definitely check it out. And if you've never played a twin-stick shooter before, this wouldn't be the worst game to start with. So why not take a look at it? Next we have Silence. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the price of £1.59, which is really cheap, and I've never seen it cheaper. In this point-and-click adventure, you and your little sister take refuge in a bomb shelter from the war outside, and soon find the crossroads to another world hidden within the bunker that your sister vanishes into, and now it's up to you to journey after her and get her back. This looks like a really cool point-and-click adventure. It's got really awesome graphics, and it looks like way higher budget than most point-and-click adventures. And it looks a bit more serious as well, which is unusual for these sorts of games. So if you like the idea of a point-and-click adventure, but you don't want the comedy-fueled, cartoony games that are mostly around, then definitely check this out instead. It looks different and awesome, and is at a great price right now. I love the next game, Stick It to the Man. It was released in 2014, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £1.29, which is good. In this puzzle platformer, you play as Ray, the hard hat tester, who wakes up after a bizarre accident to find a giant pink spaghetti arm sticking out of your head. And now you can read minds and stick emotions onto people in order to affect their mood and behaviour. This is a really funny and cool little puzzle platformer that I got for free years ago on PS Plus, and I absolutely adored it. I never would have bought it, but when I played it, I loved it. It was absolutely amazing. I would recommend it to anyone that loves puzzle platformers. It's a top-notch game, and I really have great memories of it. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle platformer before, definitely check this out. It's a great game to start with. We have a Metroidvania game next, Sundered Eldritch Edition. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is really good. In this beautifully hand-drawn game, you must resist or embrace ancient eldritch powers to protect your humanity while confronting the hordes of terrifying enemies in an ever-changing world and their gigantic bosses. I love Metroidvania games, and this looks like a really cool one, with an awesome art style as well. It's really beautiful to see. If you've been looking for a Metroidvania game, I highly recommend this one. It looks awesome. And if you've never played one before, there are a lot of big name ones you could try instead, but this looks like a decent one as well, so it's up to you really. Our next game is The Adventure Pals. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £2.99, which again is the cheapest I've ever seen it. In this action platformer, you set out to save the world with your best friends, a giraffe and a rock. You get to explore 5 unique areas with items to collect and unlock accessories, and it also includes 2-player local co-op, which is really different and unique for these sorts of games, and it really sets it apart. If you've got someone to play with local co-op, definitely pick it up. It'll be a great game for 2 players. And if not, it looks like a pretty decent game, and it's at a good price, so you might want to consider it anyway. It definitely looks like a pretty decent platformer, with some eccentric humour as well, so why not check out this kooky little game. Oh no, another point-and-click adventure, The Inner World. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on at least an 80% discount for the price of £2.39 or £1.19 with PS Plus, which is really cheap. In an underground world, Robert is a novice wind monk who teams up with the mysterious thief Laura in order to find out why the wind fountains have stopped providing the air people need for survival. It seems like a pretty cool little story and a pretty run-of-the-mill point-and-click adventure, but hey, if you're a fan of them, you'll like it, and it's at a really cheap price, so you can't complain too much, hey? And if you've never tried one before, at this price you might just want to take a punt. You may love it. Although point-and-click adventures are very niche, so think about it first. And the final game I have for you is The Long Journey Home. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 90% discount for a price of £1.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. In this roguelike game, mankind's first experimental jump drive malfunctions on its maiden test flight, and now you and your crew are stranded across the galaxy, so it's down to you to explore and scavenge resources and help to find your way back home. This seems like a pretty cool, unique roguelike game. I mean, it's basically a rip-off of Farscape, but roguelike, which is great for me. I loved Farscape, and if this was licensed, I would jump on it, I really would. But in any case, it looks like a really cool game, and I like the sci-fi theme to it. It's very interesting to me, and you might just like the sound of it too, in which case take a look at it. At this price you can't go far wrong, right? And if you've never played a roguelike before, then if you're not a fan of sci-fi, take a look at some others instead. But if you are a fan of sci-fi, at this price, you might just want to try this one out. Think about it. And that's all the games I have for you for the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next sale. And what did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones? Did I pick bad ones? Did I leave out games that should have been included? And what about the Star Buy? Was it the best game, or did I miss something else instead? In any case, throw all of your complaints down in the comments and we can argue about it later. But I hope you guys found some games you're interested in, and more importantly, I hope you guys saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.